So what we're gonna do is we're going to actually copy and paste it all into our folder. And one thing you need to do is actually delete Nishimura's package name because we're going to be using our files package. And I just realized that in my previous video I actually typed recycler like that. It's recycler, you gotta spell it right. To declare the class. So we declare the class, here we are. So what you'll first notice is that it's a super long job file. He did a really great job making these tabs. But for our purposes, we don't need to be that fancy. Our goal is just to make it work. And a lot of these things, especially this section here, the appearance variables, we won't be using them because one, I don't actually understand all the subclasses. They're black boxes to me, so I just get rid of them. And so I want to be just left with the bare bones tabs. So here's how I go about it. First, I just go through it and I look for red things. That means they don't really know what they are. Probably because they're referencing other things in his code that we don't really have. But if you look at these are all sort of appearance things, which I think are kind of secondary, and they're not crucial to the final function of the tabs. So, for example, type where you can look at style attributes, is set indicator color, set indicator height. So this probably does something cool like changes the font color when you select the correct tab, or make sure that the tab isn't super tall or anything. And this, the padding, make sure it's padded nicely and looks nice. So this is important. Probably if I went through it and I really got into the backgrounds, I would think it's really important to make it look as pretty. But our most important thing is just get it to work. So what we're going to do is get all these red things. We're just going to delete it all. Just delete it all. And looks like it's happy now. I wonder, it won't work now. It won't still work if we run the emulator because we haven't done, the rest of the things that I've said. But at least there are no compilation errors. And here's a nice thing about Android Studio is that when you no longer have, if you write classes but you never use them, the font turns gray. And you look at these fonts have turned gray. The set indicator color, that means you never use them, which means it's safe to delete it. Same with set indicator height, set auto select mode, set position threshold. Ooh, do we want this? No, actually we don't, because we have a view page or adapter, and this looks like just setting text color. The nice thing with this is that we want to cut it down to, when we get a file like this, when you copy and paste from the internet, they're going to be writing a lot. And, you can use black box code. I do all the time, but, I don't like to do too much when I see all this code. I don't know what it does, and I just like to, get the bare bones so I know what each class does. And if you notice here, some of the variables are grayed out, which means they're not ever used, which means it's safe to delete them. So these are all that's sort of appearance variables, padding, text appearance, background. So we're just gonna delete all that. So this is how I pare down. This is how I pare down classes that I get off of other people's GitHubs. I believe this is target API animations. So we're not going to be bothering with that. And see, now it's turned red. It's because the smooth scrolling set current item. Because saying, oh, if it's starting animation, this is the if statement. And because we're not actually be using animations, we don't need that if statement. Still probably 3 times. Oh, look. See, so these tabs, these subclasses are never used. Set tab padding, set max width. So this probably makes the tabs look super pretty. But we're not looking for pretty tabs, we're just looking for, you know, working tabs. Do we need, so this is also how I do, I kind of look at each class and look at the code and sort of guesstimate of what it does. And it looks like the scroll to tab, what it does is like if you pick an item and it's just like way over here on your tabs, this sort of centers the view. I can see like it's dividing by 2 and that sort of thing. I guess we won't have centered pretty tabs because we're going to delete all. We do actually want to scroll to tab. Do you want to? Why is it? But we don't have a position variable. Actually, I didn't want to keep that. Let's do some more thoroughly. So you can see that these also, if you go to the import statements, you can see which import statements are no longer used. So you no longer use the value animator, never use the target API because we delete that honeycomb only thing. Scroll duration, that's grayed out, so we never use it. So we can slowly pare it down. I don't think we'll need select center for right scroll, center for left scroll, because that sounds really fancy and pretty cool, but just kind of aesthetic stuff. And when we delete classes like that, we can see that which other classes are changed. For example, on scroll state change. So we won't need that either. And now it's still happy because there's no red. Then I guess we won't need the current item. This is not going to be a very fancy, not going to be a fancy tab series at all. But so let's see. Do we need scroll indicator position? No, we won't. You know what? I actually think I overdid it. We're gonna keep this. And we have to do this really methodically because especially we don't know what each class does, and it can have some sort of domino effects. So we will continue this in our next video when I slowly, probably with mistakes, go through this sort of paring down process.